Excellent. Good morning. I'm State Representative Jeff Keicher. I am the House Republican Caucus Chairman, and I represent the 70th District, which has parts of DeKalb, Kane, and McHenry counties. April 15th, next week, is Tax Day. It's a day many people do not look forward to, especially here in Illinois, because it's a reminder of much that we have to do in this state to fix the amount of taxes that our people pay. Illinoisans know well that we shoulder the highest overall tax burden of any state in this nation. That crushing tax burden has been driving families, seniors, and businesses out of our state for years. And it's been keeping people away from considering Illinois home. So I would like to think that anything we can do to reduce the tax burden, cut red tape, and open our state to business to welcome the opportunity to have job creators once again come back to Illinois in the volumes that they had would be a top priority for us here in the legislature. However, today is the third reading deadline to advance House bills to the Senate, and you know what we haven't seen? Any bills that would call for substantially lowering the tax burden on the people of the state of Illinois and allow job creators once again to come back. The reality is that overburdensome policies from Illinois Democrats continue to hold us back and continue to proliferate. Illinois' unemployment rate at the close of 2024 was 4.9%, nearly a full percentage point above the national average, which was 4.1%. According to an analysis I had done by COGFA, the higher than average Illinois unemployment rate means that we are underemploying people in the state of Illinois to the tune of approximately 55,500 people. Let me say that again. There are 55,500 people that are not working in the state of Illinois because we aren't average. Imagine those 55,000 people working. That would generate approximately $3.5 billion in wages. And imagine what that infusion of household income would do for our communities. Imagine if we would have nearly 60,000 more employed people in this state, in our schools, in our restaurants, in our communities, helping to drive the thriving life that we could once again have in this state. Another COGFA analysis, if Illinois had grown at the average rate of the 6 states that touch us from 2010 to 2020, we would have approximately 722,000 additional people. Again, if Illinois grew at the average of the 6 states that touch us, we would have 722,000 additional people in this state. And at that average employment number, that would represent approximately 450,000 additional people working. And that household number would be generating $26,609,000,000 in household income in each of our communities. But Illinois isn't average, and we know that. Sadly, it's not happening as a result of years and years of one-party Democrat rule, continuing to pass onerous and intrusive guidelines on businesses and individuals in our state. If this state is serious about digging out of our financial hole and becoming just average, we need to end the outmigration. We need to help offer tax relief, regulatory relief for businesses, and make Illinois a place that people want to come back to instead of flee from. I will now turn it over to Representative Jackie Haas, who will discuss some of the proposals we as Republicans are putting forward that would offer that relief to residents and businesses. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is State Representative Jackie Haas, and I represent the 79th District, which includes parts of Kankakee, Will, Grundy, and Cook counties. As Representative Keicher noted, today is the deadline for House bills to be passed out of the House. Any bills not passed by the end of session today will be sent back to the Rules Committee. Unfortunately, Illinois families are feeling the strain of the bloated tax burden and a poor job market. Hardworking men and women are the ones who are suffering the most if we do not get our house in order here and start focusing on passing good public policy to make it easier to live here in Illinois. Here we are in the thick of the spring legislative session, and to the detriment of Illinois taxpayers, it's been more of the same so far. House Democrats are hyper-focused on proposals that won't move the needle for Illinois families. Instead, bills to raise the tax burden, bloat the budget, and expand government have taken precedence. One example is a bill that passed the House with bipartisan dissent, creates a program to assist building owners and renters with energy upgrades. This bill has a large fiscal impact, but the exact amount is still unknown. Another example is a bill to provide prescription contraceptives for all public higher education students who request it. Again, this bill will have a large fiscal impact that again is still unknown. Bills to increase student loan forgiveness, subsidize bus passenger networks, and health care for all are a few examples of reckless spending with unknown amounts that will only increase the cost of living. Enacting any of these bills will lead to a tax hike. There is just no other way to balance the budget. But the House Republican caucus doesn't just point out these issues, we offer real and tangible solutions. My colleagues and I have been introducing legislation focused on tackling the tax burden and supporting working families. When it comes to the tax burden, property taxes are at the forefront of everyone's mind. That's why I filed House Bill 1917 to reduce property taxes for our veterans. There are also a number of bills that I co-sponsored that would support small businesses and family farmers by reforming the estate tax, such as House Bill 1457, 1731, and 1733. We've also been working hard to support our hardworking families in Illinois. I co-sponsored bills such as 1351, which would create the Reduced Barriers to Start Act, eliminating all first-year licenses and registration fees for small businesses in Illinois. Another House bill is 1634, which would create an income tax credit for first responders, ensuring they can take home more of their hard-earned money. All of the Republican bills that I've listed did not pass committee. None will be called for a vote on the House floor. This cannot continue. Illinoisans deserve a government that works for them, not one that insists on growing out-of-control spending habits on the taxpayer's dime. I'll now turn it over to my colleague, Representative Joe Sosnowski.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks for coming. As was mentioned, Joe Sosnowski from the 69th District, which extends from Rockford into McHenry County. As was laid out by my colleagues, we need to do more here to help working families and seniors. And what we've seen as we approach April 15th, tax deadline, is hundreds of bills introduced by the governor and our colleagues on the other side of the aisle, all of which do nothing to help working families or to save dollars and keep dollars in their pockets. We have put forward legislation, as was mentioned, that will put more money into taxpayers' pockets, including our seniors who definitely deserve it. I filed House Bill 1750 that would work with our federal partners, and what we've seen proposals coming from the federal government to reduce taxes on tips and overtime. Again, save money for working families. This would greatly benefit workers in the service industry across the state, as well as hourly wage employees engaged in manufacturing, maintenance, and a variety of other fields. I've also introduced bills that would save homeowners money. House Bill 1746 would increase the senior freeze from $65,000 to $80,000, saving seniors money. Also have House Bill 3723, which would cap the increase on seniors' aggregate tax bill. We have another to help all homeowners, House Bill 3724, which would cap the aggregate total increase. Again, let's save homeowners and working families money. The fact that none of these bills have been scheduled a hearing tells you something about the priorities of this governor and the majority party. House Republicans have specific legislation and solutions that will help working families and, as was mentioned, help grow Illinois again.